Hi, boys and girls. My name is Mrs. Overish. I'm so glad you're here today. We're going to do something really fun today and something that actually has a lot of meaning and that a lot of really smart scientists do, which is what you guys all are. So I can't wait to put on my scientist hat with you guys today, and let's be scientists. So today, our I can statement says, I can make a weather journal to observe the weather outside. Why do we observe the weather outside? I mean, I'm looking at it. Does it matter? Does it make a difference? Of course it does. There are people out there who are always studying our weather and studying our weather patterns. Let's break this apart and then we're going to talk more about that. So I can make a weather journal. Well, a weather journal is something where we can keep all of our information, right? You might have heard of a writing journal, maybe even a math journal. But a journal is where we keep all of our information so we can refer back to it, right? That's why we write stuff down so we can come back to it. So a weather journal is somewhere where we can write down what we're seeing about the weather. So I'm actually just going to draw a little picture today because I think that's the best way to describe it. I'm just going to draw a journal. Does it look like a journal? Kind of. We'll go with it, right? And we are doing this weather journal to observe the weather outside, to observe the weather. That word observe, that means we're looking at it. That means we're thinking about it. Okay, so I'm gonna write over here. Looking, thinking. Okay, because sometimes we observe something, that probably means we're thinking about it. That doesn't just mean that we're looking at it, it means we're really thinking about what we're seeing, okay? And the weather outside. Well, we're going to talk about weather, what we know about weather, the different weathers that are pretty common where we live, which turns out we have a lot of weather compared to some places. So if I think about the weather outside, we're going to talk about that. I could write that down forever. Okay? So we know that there are scientists that called meteorologists, and meteorologists track weather, they predict weather. And if we didn't track the weather, we wouldn't be able to predict the weather. And prediction is when they tell us ahead of time what the weather is going to be like. So if you watch the news, you might see, that they're already telling us what the weather is going to be like on Saturday. Well, what if it's Monday? How do they know that? And it's because they're able to track the weather. They're able to observe the weather, just like what you and I are going to do. So we'll be able to predict what the weather might be like based on what it's been like the past couple days. So I'm really excited to do this with you. You're going to get to make a weather journal to observe the weather for all of December. Let's get started. Okay. The first thing that we should know is those weather symbols, because each day we could write everything we know about the weather that day. It was windy in the morning, it got cold in the afternoon, kind of rained at 4 o'clock, but then by 6 o'clock it wasn't raining anymore. Stars came out, it was totally clear, it warmed up, right? So many things happen. So that's why we use weather symbols to better explain exactly what the weather is going to be like today. And if you turned on the news tonight, you would see weather symbols as well. So if I think about the first weather symbol, well, the first one I think of, because maybe that's what I always want it to be, is that sun, because I love it when I see that sun on the Weather Channel and it's telling me it's going to be a sunny day. So if I think about a weather symbol and I think about what the weather might be like, if I see this symbol, I'm assuming that means it's going to be a sunny day. Okay, let's think about another one. Another one that's really common that we see, especially this time of year in December, is that sun with the cloud on it. And that means that the sun might peek through a little bit, but it's going to be partly cloudy. So I'm going to draw a sun peeking out from behind a cloud. And then I'm going to write those words, partly cloudy. Kind of getting into my I can statement over here. What's another one? Can you guys think of another one that you see? All right. Thinking, someone is telling me rain. Maybe not, but someone out there was saying, Mrs. Overish, rain. So often we just see that one big raindrop, but I like to always draw a little cloud maybe at the top and then a couple little raindrops to go below it. But you can always just draw one. The best is when we get to color it. And that means it's raining, right? Rain is a very, unfortunately, common weather pattern we have here. What's another one that you guys were thinking of? Think about December. What do we get in December? What do sometimes we want on a specific day of the year? Snow. Okay, and I'm gonna draw my snow, which is one snowflake. Make it look pretty with some little dots. Okay, does that look like a snowflake? Kind of. Maybe I'll draw another one. All right, snow. Okay, so we see snow. That's a weather pattern that we see a couple months out of the year. Okay, another one that sometimes comes maybe before snow. That's something we can talk about when we're making our predictions, is just straight clouds, right? Unfortunately, we have cloudy days. So sometimes we just have cloudy days. So we just draw that cloud. And then we write that word cloudy. And the last one we're going to do today is not as much as something that comes from the sky, but something that happens outside. You guys know what this picture means? Yeah, you're right. It means it's windy. Windy. So for this activity today, to make your weather journal, you're going to need one piece of paper. And you'll get the opportunity to use a second if you want. But today we're just going to make one together, and then you can always do that second one on your own, all right? So I have my one piece of paper. It's blank. If yours already has lines on it, that's okay too. The first thing we're going to do is hold our paper long ways, and you're going to take the top to the bottom and fold it right in half. And I always like to line up my corners, hold on to it in the middle with my thumb, peel it up, and ward off to the side. So I have that really nice crease in the middle. But you're gonna actually keep it folded for now. And guess what? We're gonna fold it again. Fold it again, and it was like, oh, it's so skinny. I line up my edges again, I crease that middle, and I pull it to the side. So then when I open my page up, I have 4 equal parts. And what we're going to do is we're going to do our labels at the top. We're going to do the word December right here. And then we're going to do the first 14 days down at the bottom. Okay? So this is what I want you to do. I want you to draw the labels that you see here on the board at the top of your page. All right? And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So I didn't draw anywhere else on my page, just along the top, and I drew those symbols that we talked about together right down here. I separated them with little lines just to make sure that my pictures stayed organized and neat. The next thing we're going to do is write the word December right here. I used really big letters to write that word December because I wanted to make sure that if I hang it up on the board or I had it up on my wall, that someone would be able to read it. Again, if you ever want to make this in a different month, all you'd have to change out is the second row right here. And you could put in January, February, March. You could even keep the weather, track of the weather for the whole year. You would know so much. The next thing we're going to do is add in our boxes for our days. So I want 7 boxes to go across these 2 lines so that by the end I have 14 little boxes. So as you can see, I drew my lines along our folded line. I wrote my numbers 1 to 14. So starting right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this is just the first 14 days of our month of September. So this is what I was saying. If you want a second piece of paper so that you can continue the rest of the month, December has 31 days. So there's so much weather we could track. Or you could flip it over and continue your days on the back. All right, the next thing I want to do is make mine colored and pretty so that my pictures are at the top, are labeled and look nice. So here's my final project. So I have my first 14 days of December. I have my pictures along the top. They're labeled, they're colored to help me know that, oh man, I know that this is definitely just a cloudy day. So I'm going to go ahead and do it for the first day of December, and it's really cloudy today, and it's not very pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to draw my symbol for a cloudy day. And And I'm going to go back through and make sure it's colored. And I'm going to keep track of my weather for full 14 days. What do you think we're going to learn about? Do you think we're going to be able to predict what's going to happen the next day based on the first couple days that we've done? What weather symbol do you think you're going to draw the most of in the month of December? If we did this in the month of June, what weather symbol do you think you would draw the most of in June? Would they look the same or would they look totally different? That's right, they would look totally different. It's been so fun to be a scientist with you today. I really enjoyed this, and I can't wait to hear about all of your predictions and what you learn about weather from keeping a weather journal. I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful day.